Hi everyone, welcome to Personality Psychology. This is Professor Dozier. I just wanted to spend a few minutes during our first week together giving you a little bit of a walkthrough, kind of a virtual tour through our virtual classroom. I know every online class is a little bit different, so I just wanted to make sure that I showed you where you can find information, how to access the course materials, and how to submit work in our particular virtual classroom. So I'm just going to do a little screen sharing here today. So some of the things you may see on my screen may look a little bit different from yours just because I'm in instructor view, but essentially everything is located in the same place. So you have my contact information here, front and center, the first thing that you'll see. Okay, and if you scroll down and you get to our first actual module, the first thing that you'll always see in this beginning module here are our course announcements, anything that I want to alert you to, any changes that may have to take place. I will make sure that I post them there as well as send you an email. You also have your own little board here. I call it the Cyber Cafe. You can think of it as a student lounge or however you want to look at it as, but this is just a place where you can access each other and talk about things that are not necessarily school related. So this is a place for you to just talk, chat, share information, share things that you think may be useful for your fellow classmates to know about, things that may be going on in your community, or things that may be going on in some of the other classes that you have in common or in your program of study. I know many of you are in the same programs essentially. So this is just a place for you to get together and talk. It doesn't have to be related to the course, but it's always nice to have a place just to kind of get together, just like you would in a face-to-face class, a place where you could talk, before or after class, share information, get to know each other. So that's a little place for you to kind of collectively share things and get to know each other. And then further down in this beginning module, you have a Start Here Day 1 section with lots of good course information to get you understanding what the expectations are in the course, information regarding the syllabus or course schedule, college policies. And the first thing that you'll see under the Start Here Day 1 is the syllabus. So this syllabus includes the same format that you'll see in your other courses. It has my contact information. It has the grading scale. It has the percentage of the course weight for each assignment type, which we'll go over here again as I'm talking to you here in this video. And then you have, at the very end of it, you have a schedule of the due dates and the modules that we are going to follow throughout our weeks together over this dynamic 8-week session. The 8-week classes go by pretty quickly, so I do recommend that if you don't print off the entire syllabus, that maybe you can at least copy down or print off the schedule portion and use that as a sort of checklist week to week to know that you've done the readings, you have completed the required work, and then you also know what's coming up ahead in the coming weeks. So if you'd like to work ahead in this course, for most assignments, you're able to do that if you want to work ahead of the schedule. You have a syllabus agreement here just to mark that, to let me know that you have reviewed the syllabus, that you don't have any questions concerning it. And the next section down here are my office hours. So this is truly a distance class because I am located on the East Coast. I'm actually in Hampton Roads, Virginia. So I'm in Norfolk. I'm actually a full-time professor and chair of my department at TCC, which is Tidewater Community College, located in Hampton Roads. We have campuses all over the 757 area code. So for office hours, what I'd like to utilize for our purposes here is Zoom. I know we're all probably getting a little Zoom fatigued with having to meet virtually in this way, but it is convenient and it gives us a way to be able to chat and go over course materials. It gives us a way to communicate and really connect virtually, since I'm not, let alone on your campus, I'm nowhere near your state as it is. But I also have my phone number here as well, if that's easier for you, rather than Zoom. Depending on what your work schedule, your family schedules are, we can always set up a time to talk on the phone as well. And you can text that number too, so if it's easier for you to text, because I know everybody's schedules are all over the place between kids and their school and your own school schedules, as well as your perhaps changing work schedules with everything going on in the world. I do have my phone number there, so if it's easier to text or call, we can always do that in lieu of a Zoom meeting. So to set up a time for us to meet, what I'm using this semester, and I'm trying this out for the first time this fall, is I'm using a scheduling website. That way we don't have to do a lot of back and forth in our college email. So if you click on this sign up link, it takes you to Calendly, and it takes you to my office hours scheduling page. So if you click here on my office hours, it takes you to a calendar, and it lets you see the days and times that I'm available. So let's say you wanted to meet on Thursday. So I'm setting the office hours between Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and then you click on the day that you'd like to meet, and then you can select a time here. So let's say you want to get dinner done and you have some other things going on, you want to meet at 8 o'clock. Then you would click confirm, and then you would enter just some basic information for me to help get set up for our meeting. So your name, your FranU email, and then anything that you would like for me to know that you think could help in preparation of our meeting. So say, you say, I'm confused about these different theories, or there's something in the module I'd like to ask you about. You could put that here, and that way I can have it all ready to go when we meet, and that way I can answer your questions that you have beforehand and get any resources or materials together that you may want to look at during our meeting, ready to go there. And then if you could let me know if you'd like to meet in Zoom or over the telephone. And if you'd like to meet over the phone, if you could also indicate if you would like me to call you, you could put your phone number here in this text box, or if you would like to call me, you could also indicate that here in this particular area. And then if you would like the website to send you a text message reminder, you could enter your telephone number there, and then you would click schedule the event. So you should get an email reminder and then also a text message reminder if you have entered your phone number there. So this is a way for us to, again, convene. I can answer your questions. If there's a topic in the course that you're really excited about learning more about and you want to go above and beyond what we have here in the online course, we can talk about those things. But I know that in an online course, it can often feel as though you're out there floating by yourself. And you really are driving the bus in an online course. You are doing all of the work. You have to be self-motivated. You have to be good with your time management skills. But I want you to know that there is somebody on the other side of the computer screen, and I'm here to help you, assist you, talk with you about these topics and course materials whenever you would like. And if there is a week where maybe your schedule doesn't line up with my posted office hours here, you could also send me an email and say, hey, is it okay if we could maybe work outside of those days and times? And I'm generally pretty flexible. So I have a full course load, and as I said, I have some administrative duties too for the college I work full time for, but I'm happy to work around these times. So if even a weekend works better for you and you want to meet quickly or have a phone call on a weekend, we can definitely set that up. But these are generally the times that I'm the most available. And then if we work further down here in the Start Here Day 1 module, we have some course guidelines. So just some tips and reminders about how to submit work, some things that I'm looking for in terms of how you are turning work in. Generally speaking, in this course, we want everything to be turned in a Word document if we can. So if you have any questions about the expectations after you read that, please let me know. We also have some directions here on how to submit those online discussion forums and how you're going to be responding to your classmates. So detailed directions and a rubric are listed here. And then our final course project directions are located there underneath of the online discussion board forum directions. So to wrap up the semester, we're going to see if we can apply all of these fascinating personality theories to something fun and relevant. So I'm going to have you watch a film of your choice and then try to analyze the personality of a main character in the film that you want to learn more about and investigate a little bit more intimately. So I have directions here on what that application project entails, expectations, things that I'm looking for, and the rubric. And then you have a couple basic documents here, things to look out for in terms of plagiarism, things to look out for in terms of when you're reading an article, some of the main points to take away from an article. And I also have a few folders here on some learning strategies that I recommend for any college student to kind of shine up your study methods. And then I also have some personal tips here and professional related tips for coping with all of the craziness in the world right now. Being a college student is already stressful enough, and then with everything layered on top of it that's going on in the world currently, it's suffice it to say that you may be under a little bit more stress than you typically are. So these are some tips that I have for you that are professionally related in terms of finding some ways to manage that stress that you may be feeling and finding some coping methods that work for you. And then if we work ourselves down, we have an introductory forum where you're going to be telling the class a little bit more about yourself. And then if we work further down, each module essentially follows the same pattern. So you have all of the learning outcomes for each model. And then each module has our resources. So there are some PowerPoints that are put together, some lecture notes that have been put together from the professor that taught this last year, that was Professor Dresnick. So he has some voiced over lectures here that you can listen to. I've also included some interesting websites that you can explore on the particular module topics. And then the second half of each module will have the activities and assignments that are due. So you'll have your discussion board, you'll have your writing assignments. And then if we get down to module 2, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to get you down here to module 2. You'll see that at the end of module 2, you have, and Moodle, you got to keep scrolling sometimes. Don't get dizzy. There we go. You have a midterm exam at the end of module 2. This will be available for you at the second half of that week that it's due. So you'll have several days to complete this and turn it back in. So essentially, it works the same way for each module. You have your learning outcomes, you have materials, and then scroll further down and we have all of our activities. At the very end of the course, don't get dizzy, there we go, I'm going to go all the way down at the end. I have the submission link for your final exam as well as your application project. So that's the very last thing that you'll be working on during our last week together. That'll be due October 4th. And then the last week of class is just a wrap up. So anything that is late or anything missing, that would be the week for us to work on getting that turned in. I'm going to take us all the way back to the top here and give you my contact information again. So I'm very much looking forward to getting to know all of you over our time together. Personality is fascinating and it's absolutely applicable to the careers that you're going into. Many of you are going into the health professions. So you're going to have to learn how to manage and work with so many different personality types. But this course is fascinating because, like most psychology courses, you can take the things that you're learning about in this course and start to directly apply them, not just to your professional pursuits, but also to the things that you have going on in your personal life. So you're going to be learning about some tips and some strategies and just basic knowledge and general semantics about how to navigate our personal relationships with your family members, your friendships, your romantic partners. So personality is something that is useful not just in the workplace, but in those everyday interactions that we have every day of our life. So it's a fascinating course. We have lots of great theories that we're going to cover and then ways to apply it and ways to analyze personality. And again, how to learn those different personality types and traits and know how do we communicate with different personality types? How do we manage and how do we conflict resolve when it comes to working with these different personalities again, not just in the workplace, but also in our home, right? With the people who are living with us. And during this pandemic, when we're quarantined a little bit, I would say that this class is more relevant than it's ever been. So I hope that you'll find lots of great tips and knowledge and ways to apply what you're learning in every area and aspect of your life. I hope that you'll reach out to me this first week if you have any questions about the setup of the course or where to find something or how to submit work. And just know that this first week of the class, we're just going to be getting to